Welcome, 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 everyone. This is your girl Janelle here with another episode of Talk to Me Tuesday. Hopefully, you are coming into the house. You are coming into the house. I am so excited to be here with you all today for another episode of Talk to Me Tuesday. You know, each and every week I come before you, engaging in some conversation, sharing with you about some things that I want you to continue to explore on your own. So if you are joining me, go ahead and let me know that you are in the house. Go ahead and let me know that you are in the house. If you are joining me, go ahead and put that the fam is in the house. I see you, Andrea. So excited to have you here. Always getting that Texas love. For those of you who might be joining us for the very first time, you are here. You are now part of the family. So you can get the same size piece of cornbread as everybody who joins us each and every week. Go ahead and put first time into the comments so we can know and we can celebrate with you as well. But I do recognize that, as the world continues to open up, some of you have shared with me during this time, you have some other engagements that doesn't allow you to join us each and every week. And if that's the case, I want you guys to go ahead and when you do have the opportunity to join us, to go ahead and put replay into the comments so we know that you have the opportunity to join us and be with us. So happy to have you all here. I just want to confirm that you guys are able to see me because it's showing up on a black screen for me. So if you guys are able to see me, just go ahead and let me know, Andrea. Let me know that it is coming through live. If that is not the case, I will go ahead and do some troubleshooting on my side to make sure that you guys are able to hear some of these nuggets as we move forward. So hopefully you guys are able to see me and to hear me loud and clear as we engage today. So happy to have you guys here. Each and every week that we come together, we try to make sure the devil know that they are not in charge, that we are able to go ahead and do this work. So thank you for the love, letting me know that it is coming through loud and clear and that you guys are able to see me, because I love when I'm able to see you. So one of the things that I do have scheduled to come up is one of the Tuesdays in June. I'm going to go ahead and drop a Zoom link because I want to be able to really engage in some conversation with you guys. So I'll go ahead and when that week is coming up, where instead of Talk to Me Tuesday being live on this particular platform, I want to go ahead and make sure that we can just talk to each other and connect that way. So do know that that's coming up. I thank you guys again for being here. So who am I? What is it that I get to do each and every week? What do I get to do when we aren't connected? So I do want to share that because sometimes people are like, I love coming and chilling with you, Janelle. You cover some of these things that are like, no nonsense kind of things that we all know, but we sometimes aren't following through on. So I really get to serve really powerful individuals in my business who are ready to be empowered, both in the relationship they have with other people, but what I like to say also in the relationship that they have with themselves, because so many of us consistently give and give and give, but we don't replenish ourselves. So I get to really help people refocus so they know as much as they're giving, they should be getting in return. So that's what I get to do when I'm not joining you guys here each and every Tuesday for Talk to Me Tuesday, really helping to empower those people to really leverage themselves into the success that they deserve. So always good to let you guys know what it is that I do behind the scenes when I'm not live here with you each and every week. So this week, the topic had a little bit of mystery to it. And I say that because I talked about how to intentionally, and the word on the surface is love, but to really break it up about what it means to love, because I really want people to understand love is something that goes across so many types of relationships. And today, when I talk about love, I want you to apply love to whomever you want to apply love, to use this message for whomever it is that a person who you want to demonstrate love to. And as a reminder, as I say all the time, you also have to show yourself love. So for those of you who may be like, I'm not in a relationship right now, think about your children, think about your grandchildren, think about yourself. So I want you to today, as I'm sharing some of these nuggets with you, to really think about how you can do some of the things, some of the strategies that I'm going to hold up today for yourself and for those that you love. So really, as you go into this, I want you to have that type of mindset. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready to jump right into how to make sure that we are intentionally showing LOVE. So I want to break it up by every single letter and really talk about how do we do that? How do we do that in a way that allows us to have success in those relationships? Relationships are something that, again, depending on the type of relationship, if it's a relationship that you have with yourself, you just showed up. You didn't have a choice. You are always and will always be with you. Some of our other relationships avoid choice, where it may be our significant other, people that we work with that we love and we care about. Because again, I don't want us to romanticize the message that I'm going to have today. You can have it for your significant other, you can have it for your boo thing. But today's message is specifically around how do you show up and how are you intentional in how people know that you love them. Okay. So I really want you guys to hold on to that nugget as we continue to move forward. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is how to be intentional. Because so often, and again, this is something I too have been guilty of, right? So each week when I come to you guys, I'm not sharing just exclusively for you, saying, I've never had to grow, I've never been through some of these things. You know, I've told you guys that I come here and I'm honest with you each and every week. So I want to continue to do that as we move forward. So as I say these things, I'm holding it up and I'm hearing the message for myself as well. So it's important to really be intentional with love and not just to assume, because if you're talking about yourself, you're like, well, I'm stuck with me. So yep, I love me, right? But what are you doing to really show yourself love? How are you taking care of yourself? If you are talking about your significant other, how are you intentionally doing it and not getting to a point where you take it for granted? How are you loving on your children? How are you loving on your grandchildren? And not just assuming by the actions that you demonstrate, they should automatically just know. When you're involved with love, there has to be more than that, right? I am a mom with two beautiful little girls. I've shared that with you guys time and time again. And I am trying to really recognize how I can be more intentional in loving them. So this message I could easily apply to loving my daughters. I could also use the same message to really make sure that I'm checking myself for, as I do this work that my business has allowed me and given me purpose to do, as I do all of the things that I'm called to do in the various components of my life. Am I making sure that I'm also being intentional with letting my husband know that I love him and that I'm really going out of my way to show him that I appreciate him and I care about him? And also, how am I showing myself love? Am I just pouring out to everyone else, but I am not being intentional in how I'm taking care of me and how I'm loving me? So the first component I want to talk about, the first tip, the first strategy is being able to, for the L, when you hear L in love, I want you to think about, have I laughed with this person? Have I engaged in a hearty, deep laugh? Have I made them laugh? Have they made me laugh? Because with love, there's going to be ebbs and flows continuously. There's going to be those good moments. There are going to be those challenging moments. But laughter, and we've heard this before, laughter, lightens the load. Laughter makes your heart grow stronger. All of those things is because laughter really allows us to get to a place where we feel like we can release some of the tension. So if you haven't taken the time to like Netflix and chill, to really just read your favorite book, whatever brings you joy, turning on some music and just having a dance party, make sure that you are showing up and that you're laughing through some of these critical moments. And the second L is about learning. How are you keeping yourself open to learning how to love better? How are you learning different things to stretch yourself to make you better? How are you learning more about those people you care about so that you can show up for them in a way where they do feel loved? So I really want to hold up the L in love that I want you to begin to think about is, and again, this is reflective. So for yourself, think about, when's the last time you laughed, right? And if you remember exactly what that was, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Today during lunch, I actually took some time to take care of two things and to laugh by showing myself some self-love. And what I did is when I had lunch, I went back and I watched the episode of Martin. And I literally laughed so much that my husband was like, "What are you watching?" So really get into that place where it doesn't take a lot of time. And I only took literally 15 minutes, but it allowed me to disconnect from all of the things that I'm dealing with and just to be present in a moment of joy. This weekend, I do want to thank, I had the opportunity to share a message about celebrating the joy in your journey. And when I had that opportunity, I really always encourage people, the people that I work with, when I share a message, is how have you celebrated, right? So if you're joining me live for the replay, go ahead and drop in the comments. What do you have today that made you laugh? What did you learn today? I've told you guys before, I created a gratitude journal because it's important to make sure each and every day that we're taking some time to really ensure that we are grateful and that we're looking at the things happening in our lives in such a way that we're grateful for every single opportunity, right? And I want to transition. So, again, for the L, it's about how are you laughing? How are you learning? I want to transition to the O right now because I started to slip into it a little bit. And when you love, and when the O for what I want it to be represented is, for the O is about, are you open to opportunities? So often, some of the couples that I get to support, they're reaching milestones in their marriage. They're reaching 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. And they've gotten to a place where they're in such a routine that they can finish each other's sentences. They know exactly what the next person is doing, but they haven't allowed themselves to be open to any new experiences. So as you love yourself, as you love others, what are the opportunities for you to continue to open up yourself, to learn, to be in each other's presence, to really be in a opportunity that allows you to continue to strengthen that love that you have? Thinking about what opportunities are before you, right? So my husband and I, we are blessed to, mother thanks God for her husband all the time, right? And with that, we are blessed to be celebrating this coming month, our 10th anniversary. And my husband posed a question to me just last night where he said, could you even imagine getting to 10 years? Now, for those of you who are joining me who know me well, I saw this even earlier than him, right? I saw the marriage, and I had to convince him and persuade him that he too could see it, right? But as I say that in jest, yes, I could. But I also realized through our lives, we've gotten to a place where it's so important for us to continue to be intentional. The same way we were intentional before we were engaged, the same way we were intentional and look for opportunities to get to know each other better when we were engaged, the opportunities that we wanted to really learn and discover what it was like as we were a married couple. How do we continue to seek those exact same opportunities? Andrea, I see you here talking about those beautiful grandchildren that I know that you have. And again, when we're around, especially young kids, how are we being intentional? How are we opening up ourselves to just being in their presence and teaching them as much as they teach us, right? Really recognizing the opportunity that you have to even be so blessed to have grandchildren, to have had children who have grown up, who have learned, who have discovered, and again, have blessed you to have the opportunity to be a grandmother. Andrea, I know you also have the opportunity to celebrate your amazing daughter in addition to your two sons, where she is doing amazing things and has finished up her first year of college. Again, all of these are opportunities to continue to build on that relationship as she experiences something new. It's the same thing in all of our relationships that we have. How are we opening up ourselves to learn as people continue to grow and as people evolve? I want to take us to our V, right? Holding up again the two components that I've covered so far is in your relationship, the relationship that you have again with yourself, the relationship that you have with others. How are you being intentional about having laughter, having joy in that relationship? How are you being intentional to continue to learn what it is that that person brings to you, why you love them, and to continuously open yourselves to all of the opportunities that are around you as they are evolving, as they continue to get to know who they are each and every day. Now, as we move to the V, it's have you allowed yourself to really value that relationship? So many of the people I'm working with right now are at a place where, and I love this, those people who are really out here strategizing for their success and working in that community, how are we really allowing ourselves to see the value that we bring, but also the value that the other person brings to the equation? And when you begin to move into that place where you're intentional about really recognizing just how powerful you are, just how valuable you are as a person, and recognizing that in that relationship, it's not about having a big head or a big ego. It's about recognizing your brilliance. It's about recognizing exactly what you bring to strengthen that relationship. But as you do that, as you value yourself, as you value the other individual, it's also important to get to a place when you really love a person and you trust a person to really be vulnerable. And someone may say to me, well, Janelle, how do I be vulnerable with myself? Sometimes it's asking those questions that you have and being unapologetically okay with not knowing everything. Being okay with recognizing that there's so many people that are available in your network, that there's so many people who may be able to assist you, that sometimes you just have to be okay with the fact that just because you don't understand something, just because you don't know how to do something, doesn't make you lose value. But as you're vulnerable, it allows you to continue to go back to that L where you're continuing to learn. You're opening up yourselves again for those opportunities so that your value consistently increases. I want to move us to our E again. As you guys can hear me sharing with you, you can see how all of these things just ultimately work together to strengthen that love that you have. And all those things really work together to show you how to be intentional. The last component is the E. And with the E, I want to talk about how are you showing up? What's your energy level? Are you excited? Are you excited that when you wake up in the morning and the first time you walk by the mirror, you're like, not bad. I look pretty amazing. And no matter, we heard Beyonce say she woke up like that. God bless her, right? Some of us we need to make it to the bathroom before we start to look like that, right? Spend a couple minutes in the bathroom first before we wake up looking like that. But from the moment that you walk by a mirror, what a celebration that you are able to see. Because there are some people who haven't seen what they look like. So it's always about how are you stepping in to celebrate every single moment? How are you being excited when you wake up? Because that means that you still have purpose. You still have so much more to do. So it's about being energized. It's about feeling good. It's about being excited because there's going to be more than sufficient time for you not to be happy, for you not to feel joy. So during those moments, you have to be intentional with being energized, with being excited. This morning I woke up and I said, I want to go take a walk. And I just walked outside. I walked for about 45 minutes just to be in my presence, just to increase my energy level because I knew I had a full day ahead of me. But I was excited that I had the opportunity to walk. Those of you who know me know that I celebrate always because along this journey, there is more than sufficient things that potentially can stop me from celebrating the joy in my journey. But I work too hard because I recognize that every experience I go through is to make me better. So how dare I not even celebrate those down times? So guys, as I've shared with you about how to intentionally love, I want you to step away from this Talk to Me Tuesday and really spend some time being intentional, loving yourself. Loving yourself, because when you love yourself, when you laugh with yourself, when you continue to open up yourself to learn, when you open up yourself to all of the opportunities that are before you, when you learn to value who you are because you're comfortable to be vulnerable, you're going to be excited. You're going to be so energized. And that's the greatest part of love, is knowing that unconditional experience about knowing it's okay and that you will get through it. Think about how you show up and how you're being intentional with every single person who you've been blessed to have in your life. So, as I get ready to close out this episode of Talk to Me Tuesday, I really want to empower you all to be intentional with how you love. I want you all to walk away with this, to really go through. And this evening, tomorrow, whenever, be intentional. You know, I see one of you who are joining me tonight. Your sweetheart had a birthday not too long ago, right? And we celebrate on those monumental moments, on the birthdays, on the anniversaries. But every day is an anniversary because that's a day that you have never had together. It's a celebration. So I encourage you all to make sure that tonight you show up with some intentionality to love yourself and to love those around you. This is your girl Janelle signing off for another episode of Talk to Me Tuesday. You know it brings me joy to come here each and every week and to share with you as we connect about ways that you can empower yourself and ways that you can empower others. Have a wonderful week, and remember always to celebrate the joy in your journey.